Okay, number 12. We're still factoring trinomials. All right, so I have 12, 22, and 6. What's catching my eye before I even do my factored is this x cubed. And I told you if you had an x cubed that you would probably have a GCF for your variables. And if you did have a GCF for your variables, you needed to look for one for your numbers as well. So I have an x cubed, an x squared, and an x. The one with the smallest exponent is going to be my GCF for my variable. So x is going to be my GCF for your variables. And I have a 12, a 22, and a 6. I know 6 will go into 12. 6 won't go into 22. 3 will go into 12, but it won't go into 22. So I guess 2 is going to be my GCF for my numbers. And x is going to be the GCF for your variables. So let's go ahead and take those out. So 2 will go into 12 6 times. If I take 1x from 3, I'm left with 2. 2 will go into 22 11 times. If I take 1x from 2, I'm left with 1. 2 goes into 6 3 times. And if I take the x's out, it just cancels out. Now I'm going to go ahead and write my 2x down and put it in factored form, just so I don't get confused when I'm doing my bottoms up. And I want to multiply and find the factors of 3 times 6 is 18. So 3 times 6 is 18. The factors of 18 that add to give me a positive 11. So I'm adding to get a positive 11. And let's see, 6 and 3 will not give me 11, it will give me 9, so we can't use that trick on this one. So my factors of 18 is 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and I can add 2 and 9 to get 11. So these are going to be my two factors, and when I add them, they both have to be the same sign, and they both have to match that middle term, so they both need to be positive. And I want to divide them by that leading term. The leading term is 6x. So when I divide by my 6x, I'm going to reduce and get my fractions. And let's see, the first fraction I have 2 and 6x. 2 will go into both of those. So 2 will go into 2 one time. 2 will go into 6 3 times. So when I do my bottoms up, I'm going to have 3x plus 1. Okay, for 9 and 6, I can reduce that one too. 3 will go into both of them. 3 will go into 6 2 times. 3 will go into 9 3 times. So when I do my bottoms up, I have 2x plus 3. And this is in factored form. Now this one looks kind of big because we have a GCF and we have the trinomials that we had to factor. So this one was kind of a long problem. Now if you notice on the back, we not only have 2 left, but notice that they look very similar. Okay, the only difference between these is this one has a plus and this one has a minus. So let's go ahead and get started. And when I multiply the 15 times the 2, I get 30. So I want to find the factors of 30 that add to give me a positive 7. So I have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, and 1 and 30 adds to give me 31. 2 and 15 adds to give me 17. 3 and 10 adds to give me 13. 4 won't go into it. 5 and 6 adds to give me 11. I guess that's it. That's all your factors of 30. None of them are going to add to give me a positive 7. So this is actually going to be a prime polynomial. Now I want you to look at this number here. Since it said to add to give me a positive 7, a lot of students get caught up in this 3 and 10. You can subtract to get 7 with 3 and 10, but you cannot add to get 7 with 3 and 10. So this is a prime polynomial. Remember we had a prime one earlier, and that meant you couldn't do any kind of factoring. So now let's look at number 14. It looks exactly the same. That means that we're still finding factors of 30. This time we want them to subtract to get a positive 7. Now we've already done the factors of 30 up here. This time we're subtracting to get a positive 7. So that means that I have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. And we said this subtracts to get 29. This one will subtract to get 13. This one will subtract to get 7. We already talked about this in a second ago. So if you subtract 3 and 10, you will get 7. So that means that these are going to be my factors of 30. And when I subtract, I want different signs. And the bigger number needs to be positive. The smaller number is going to be negative. I'm going to divide by my leading term. My leading term is 15. And I'm going to reduce my fractions. Now let's look. 3 and 15. I can reduce. 3 will go into 3 one time. 3 will go into 15 5 times. So I'm going to have 5x minus 1. Forgot my x on my 15s. So on the next one, when I reduce 10 and 15, 5 will go into both of those. 5 will go into 15 3 times. 5 will go into 10 2 times. So when I bottoms up, I have 3x plus 2. And this is in factored form. So this was our entire section of 4.2 to 4.4. I know there was a lot of examples. I believe that you need a lot of examples to get really good at this factoring stuff. Please, if you have any problems with your homework, please let me know. If you want to see any more examples of anything, let me know and I can do some more videos.